Hi, it's July 19th, 2020. I am JTG, James Thomas Green. And this is my special guest star and co-host for the moment, Fenris. Fenris Delightson is his full name. Fenris Delightson Green. See, I've been studying some genealogy and I've been thinking about the genealogy of names, which is how I came up with his name of Fenris Delightson Green. Um, his mama was named Delight, and he is the son of Delight, so his name is Delightson, and I named it in his, you should call it his common name, his community name is Fenris, just like my first name. Yeah, it's first name. We call it first name. Could be a family name. It could be common name. Well, family name usually refers to like who you're related to. Your parents. So a lot of people judge you by what your name is. You know. I mean, can you imagine what it's like to be named Trump right now? Especially if you're not a supporter of the current president. Whether you support him or not, think about that. Would you want to change your name if your name was Trump? Or would you be proud of it? Would you be like his niece Mary, who's gone out there and said, hey, I don't support my uncle? And she gives very good reasons for it. She's just not an unhappy person. She seems to be as happy as any person I've known in my life. She seems to have financial security. She seems to be fairly confident that, her uncle or his uncle's forces cannot take everything and make her a pauper. Maybe she's got a right to fear that because maybe he's done that to people, taken fairly wealthy people and made them literally living in a street. But this is not a speculation on Donald Trump. This is a discussion. The reason I've called you here right now is to discuss my future. Right now, I'm a student in the teaching credential program at CSU Monterey Bay. I am awaiting word on what my fate will be, and the COVID-19 situation has things really messed up. That combined with my recent heart problems and ongoing heart problems. I'm waiting to find out where I get placed or whether I get placed, because it's not even clear that schools are going to have teaching, or if they do have if they're going to be teaching students, are they going to be having teaching assistants? And what about me? My teaching, my career. I'm starting my career at an age when a lot of, probably most teachers have already considered or already retired, and I'm just starting. That's a big challenge. And you know, like so many things in my life, I've never really let age decide when I was ready for something. I, but it's just going to be a fact that if they can't place me somewhere, then I don't know what's going to be the next step. Best case scenario, if they can't place me somewhere, and it would have to be placement, by the way, would have to be mostly or nearly remote from me. And I'm setting this thing up so that you can see that I can do this. This is a very simple setup right now. It's just a camera and an animated dooley-doo up there in the corner. I will use a setup something like this for my remote teaching. Um, right now I'm just kind of got it simple, relaxed, but if I was doing a full show, um, like I'd do an online lesson, I'd set up a lesson that'd be 5 to 10 minutes long with a set of slides, videos, demonstrations, and lecture. Five 5 to 10 minutes, because I think that's most people can handle, um, especially kids. And each of these lessons will be like in a chain. Maybe I'll be teaching heat dynamics, and it'll start with how do you boil water. It's chapter 1 of heat dynamics. Or hot stuff is hot and cold stuff is cold. And yes, the twain shall meet. And where in the twain shall they meet? Ah, that's a good saying. Hot is hot and cold is cold. But where in the twain shall they meet? That's heat dynamics. Twain meaning somewhere in between. In this case, between hot and cold, it'll be the difference between the hot side and the cold side, and where they reach equilibrium in the middle. If you had like a cylinder, and a cylinder of metal like copper, and you put hots on each side, put a lot of heat, how would the heat pulse go through? Sorry, I'm just getting nerdy. I don't get a chance to be nerdy too much except in my head. It's nice to be nerdy on the outside once in a while. Most people don't understand nerdy. Teaching. That's probably my best. I need to work on my external technique, because most of my teaching in my life has been in coming up with the lessons in the writing. So I've been more of a writing teacher than a speaking teacher. That's pretty much how I'm going to make the rest of my life. It's a combination of writing, which will turn into scripts, and I've used my acting skills. I just haven't had a chance to be a thespian in a long time. And I can be a thespian when I need to be. Si, oui, da. Simon. Affirmative. Quack. I'm gonna get my head right between the thumbs. Yeah. It's weird that if I want to tilt my head to my left, I go like this, but the screen turns it to the right, and I've got my neck's kind of stiff in that direction. I need to move my neck a little bit more than I have too. I don't think I've done any permanent damage unless I don't exercise it. Back to my future. This has been a personal couple of days. I recently hit my goal for this month's fundraising for my tuition and for my living expenses, with enough extra to make a small investment in a writing tablet for the computer, drawing tablet for the computer. It's about $100. But I thought a lot of my presentations are going to be done with this writing tablet. So I have a whiteboard, but I'll be able to use I have an actual physical whiteboard with a camera, which I'll project on a second camera up here. But I can also use the writing tablet, which is wireless, to be like a chalkboard or a whiteboard in a classroom. So I can actually either use markers and mark on my actual physical whiteboard in front of a camera, or I can do it remotely with the tablet I'm getting. There are a number of YouTube videos that do their animation that way. Maybe that's one of my techniques that I'll be doing once I get the tablet. I've been thinking the tablet is something I've been wanting for a while, because I think it gives me a whole very powerful tool that I've been imagining what I could do with it, but I've never really known for sure, except for I think maybe a few times in a shop I've played with the drawing for just a little bit, going into like an Apple shop or something. But that was a long time ago too, and the technology's improved a lot since then. One way or another, I've got to survive. If they can't find a spot for me, then I'll have to just keep. They're going to see if they can have me take classes for just another year without being placed. That'll extend my teaching credential for another year. So instead of getting my teaching credential next year, I'll get it in 2 years. My income is going to be really restricted because I don't think there's going to be a lot of call for substitute teachers. Now, maybe once word gets out that I can do classes remotely, maybe I'll get hired, as a sub for like a class, or as a guest teacher, a guest online teacher. Maybe I'll come up with a whole new career path, be a guest online teacher. Mr. Green, you want to get in on my accredited online classwork approved by the government or the school board? Then I'd get the tuition for that. I could either go privately, or I could take government money to do it from my house. Maybe if I get and this is something I might be able to do as a teaching path, assuming that the coronavirus is still around in 1 or 2 years. Who's to say that next year I might not need, the schools won't be remote again? Pandemic will end, but who knows how many millions of people are going to die. I do think the number will reach the millions. It's not rising as fast as we thought, but it is rising faster than it should. Don't look at the way things are today and go, hey, things can only get better. No, right now things can only get worse. It may be that there's going to be everyone's going to lock down. That'll be interesting. Because not everybody, they're going to have to be the people who go out in the world, however little they can. Hopefully, it won't get to be like everyone's walking around in surgical garb. Although I don't think we need to go that far, at least not yet. As long as it's, as long as people are careful when they're out, because this is not magic stuff. It's biology. It's a simple equation. Viruses need human hosts. So the way to get rid of this particular virus is isolate it. Anybody who gets it, they go immediately into quarantine, maybe. Maybe it'll come down to that. I mean, not for the rest of their life, unless they're in a terminal condition. That's the other thing. You don't just get them and throw them in the dungeon and let them die. You try to do the best you can for them. Possibly try to cure them, because people, if they think that, well, maybe I'll make it through the virus, but I'll definitely be killed if I go to the government. Boy, that went dark. But, I don't know if I'll make this a public recording right away. Dark thoughts in these days. I wonder, a year from now, what will I be saying to myself? Will I be able to record a year from now? I've been thinking about a series. I've been thinking about a series of videos where I'm talking to myself. It's the audience of one, me. Audience of one at 100. Or an audience for one, for me at 100. Yes. Two concepts there. Audience of one. Who am I talking to? And how many am I talking to? It's like being an audience of two. And everybody else is an observer, bystander, stalker, a lurker. To define all those terms as part of one of the language series that I'm going to be doing. Language series of YouTube videos. Got a visitor at my feet. Oh, yeah, visitor. Let's say hello to the cat. This is my kitty cat, or my kitty boom as I call him. That comes from a old Bugs Bunny Looney Tune where they're going chick-a-boom, chick, or chicky-boom, chicky-boom. Don't, or it was also, I think, a popular song. Chicky-boom, chick-a-boom, don't you just love it? Chicky-boom, chick-a-boom. Or don't you just love her? Or don't you just love it? I think it'd be it. I prefer it. Because everybody is an it. But not all its are people. Hi. You okay? You got something stuck in you. You okay? Okay. You don't want to stay. That was Apophis. I named him after one of the Egyptian gods of destruction. Okay. Fenris wants to come up, but I think I'll just let him stay down for the moment. So, I have to listen to myself later. Because some of these are just getting ideas out as I'm thinking about them. Go back later and write them down. That's a technique, to record yourself and then go back later to see what you recorded and see if you remember that recording. And maybe, because maybe that was something I need to remember this. That's why I'm recording this. Oh, yeah. Mr. Green, Mr. Green. Hi, you're a dog. Hi, Fenris, you're a dog. Uh-oh, here comes Cat's back. Well, he gets to stay down. He wanted to fight me. He's not coming back up here right away. But you want up here. So, if somehow you've managed to watch through all that, thanks. You're either very bored or I'm more interesting than I think I am. Or Fenris thinks I am. Did you hit the microphone? Did you hit the microphone? I wonder if he hit the microphone. Oh, who's that behind me? Oh, that puppy in the background on the bed. That's Brunhilde. Oh, Brunhilde, you're so lovely. Yes, I know it. I can't help it. Yep. Brunhilde just can't help being as cute and lovable as she is. And she's kind of like, in some ways, she's got the sweetest personality. She's the most like her mother. She's the most like Delight. Time to pet the dog. Dog, 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 dog. Dog, 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 dog. Uh-oh. Cat. I think the cat went up. Oh, that's the cat. Let's see if we can have a double feature. Ah! We got the kitty puppy double feature show. Hey, you were the one who just wanted up. Okay, you're just gonna get comfortable. There. Are you comfortable? Are you comfortable? Yeah. Are you comfortable? Is this comfort cat? Meow. Meow. This is Fenris. This is Apophis. Apophis is named for the Egyptian god of destruction because Apophis is the god of destruction in Pars. He was a good cat. He is a good cat, but he's starting to get old. He's about middle-aged. Oh, this is just too cute. I'm just going to sit here for a while and record this because this is a cat and this is a dog. That's right. You gotta be careful with you guys or you knock the mic off. Mic off, mic off. I wonder what kind of audio it picked up while it was on the floor. Okay, if you've been watching through all that, you're either a fan of puppies and kitties, or maybe me, or you are not even in the room and this is playing to an empty room. Is it better to play in an empty room than not to play at all? The YouTuber's existential threat. Question. Okay. That's all.